Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mysterious Mr. Ryan and welcome back to another house building video. Ladies and gentlemen, today I present you the Disney Castle. This has got to be my favourite build. I say that quite a lot on my channel, I know, and I have lots of builds that are my favourites, but this has been one of the ones that has taken me the most time. I've put the most effort in, but I am so amazingly pleased with the result. So this build, as you probably gathered, is actually based off the castle on the opening of any of the Disney films, and also based quite highly off the actual castle in the centre of the Magical Kingdom in America as well. I used schematics, original blueprints, and a combination of designs, 3D models, and basically everything I could find for reference of the actual castle in the Magical Kingdom. And then from there, the interior is also based very highly off Cinderella, also with hints and traits of Sleeping Beauty as well. Quite a mix of designs, I know, but the castle interior is something that is very, very livable, and there's quite a few modern edges in here, so don't worry, this is not a complete medieval theme either. The interior itself has got lots of electronics, lots of modern stuff in there, but still keeping with the themes as well, trying to keep everything older looking in spite of that. So let's talk about the build itself. So as you can see, I've started off by laying out the ground floor now, put down some of these towers in each of the corners and also along the edge here. I've used some slightly smaller towers on this first floor. As you can see, I've used some of the hexagons. You'll see that when actually doing this, the reason why I've used these bigger towers is when it comes to putting the roofs on them, unfortunately the Sims currently, at least in The Sims 4, don't have circular roofs, so I've had to improvise a lot. So the way of doing this, if you guys aren't aware, you can take two sets of regular square roofs and overlay them on top of one another, and then basically curve them. You can end up with a spire effect, which I'll show you shortly. You can see just finish off laying down the towers then, and also the main keep on the first floor, and just finish up with that fence to complete it. As you move in, and just having a little bit of problems. I will say this from the start, I had some big problems with this lot. I think it's this particular lot. I had problems when I built on this one before. I think it's just a glitch in my game, unfortunately. So just bear that in mind. If you are recreating these yourself, you do need a 50 by 50 lot. And also, speaking from someone who spent a lot of money on their computer, this lags my game to building to an unbelievable level. So I would say this, as nice as this build is, you need to have the computer that can power it. Otherwise, I think you can probably play it alright, but if you want to make any changes to the build, you're probably looking, it may run very slowly and probably drop a lot of frames. So just bear that in mind. The build itself, as you can see, there was a small cut just then. I was having some problems with the roof playing, trying to get that to actually lay out, so I just cut that out so you didn't see 5 minutes of me just sort of constantly rebuilding and taking away walls. So here's the part I was talking about on the tower. So what I've done is lay down a regular 3x3 roof and then place the exact 3x3 diagonal through it. I then raise both of them to the highest level they can physically be, peak wise, and then what you do is you start by curving the regular straight 3x3 roof to a level you're happy with, and then you can curve the diagonal one until you're happy with the spire you get. Really, really simple, but actually works really well. Really, really pleased with it. But again, the curve for me is very heavy, although for you guys, you may want to opt for a bit more of a straighter looking roof. That is entirely your choice. Unfortunately, however, the same technique cannot be used with the regular octagon style rooms that The Sims has, where every wall is 1 by 1. So again, just bear that in mind. Nice little trick I'm just doing here on this roof on top of the keep there. You saw me place a wall through the centre of the roof itself and then put a fence on top. That's very useful if you're opting, in this particular case, you want to put a little gold trim on top, or if you're using any form of like classic design. Some old European builds will have them, possibly some older American builds will have them, some classic houses, some modern mansions will probably have things like that on top as well. So again, a useful little tip to bear in mind. As we move around the build itself then, you can see carrying on with the spires just to finish them off, and the next step is to put this nice green trim around every single roof. I've avoided a couple of roofs to be particular, the apex on the front of the gatehouse, the apex on the front of the build of the keep, and that the one with the gold trim at the top as well. The reason for that is those will be painted a slightly different colour. The roofs themselves have gone all blue with the exception of the one on the front of the gatehouse. That is a white on the apex. Again, following the colour scheme the best I can. As for the walls, every single wall is done in this nice light grey brick, including the keep itself, although parts of the keep are actually done in this amazing, pristine, brilliant white brick. Again, I really love how this brick looks. One of my favourite bricks in the game, I would probably say. So as I said, try and use that quite a lot. As you notice, there's a slightly different wall on the back area. On the schematics, 3D models and blueprints, it shows that has a slightly different colour scheme. Honestly, I don't know why it has that slightly different colour scheme, but again, following the schematics, that was what it suggested, so again, I kind of went with it. So just going around placing down some flooring now, so you can see the nice loose tiles there all the way around, just colouring the gatehouse that nice brilliant white as well to make it stand out very nicely, and put some columns in the corner. I'll give you guys a word of warning, I have put the move objects sheet on this particular build. There it goes, just going on there, and also there is the unlock gameplay entitlement as well, which means that I have every single item unlocked. So in the gatehouse you saw there was the diagonal roofs, and the reason behind this is on the front of the build it has this amazing sort of balcony area. Unfortunately, looking at the balcony area itself, it has this amazing brick theme inside, which I just couldn't recreate, so in the end I had to make it myself. So as you can see that I've put a nice grey wooden slat, vertical slats, and then put, I don't actually know what the exact item is, it's one of the decorative items, and basically layered that with the move objects sheet to create essentially my own texture. Subtle, I think it works, although your mileage may vary, so don't worry, if you don't like it you can just remove that part. For the doors themselves, I opted for the big blue iron looking doors again, and then what I've done was with the move object sheet I've scaled one of the arches up and then ended up with a complete arch over the top. I've done that for the two sides of the gatehouse and also the main entrance. Really pleased with how that turned out actually. Something, again, a subtle design choice, but really works well. Now we're just moving around all the towers. Now I'm moving around putting some windows in everything. A lot of these towers are not functional, I will say that now, and this build itself actually, given its size, does not have many windows. That is because of the layout of the room. The way it's designed means that a lot of rooms aren't actually in the ideal positions to have windows. Again though, if you were to want to add windows, I'm sure you can. If you want to download this, obviously you can do so. At the end I will tell you all the details so you can download this into your game. Just making a small adjustment here, moving that tower out slightly. I wasn't quite happy with the position of it, so I just scaled it out of the wall a little bit more and just adjusted a few things. Next is one of my favourite parts of any castle build, the moat itself. The moat in this one, all I've done is placed down a swimming pool and just done some slight changes to the colours. With this you can go the full hog if you want to, and actually start using the move object sheet to start placing stones and tiles and stuff in there if you would like. I personally opted against that only because this build was starting to get to pretty extreme levels in build time as it was, and I was having great problems with my game lagging a little bit, just because of the sheer volume of walls, shapes and designs going on here. Again though, bearing in mind, if you do have the horsepower to do it, by all means give it a go and see how it turns out. So as we move around the back here, you can see this is kind of this weird windowed area that will lead into what will be the main dining room. But each window in the schematic had its own sort of spire, so in the end I had to opt for basically overlaying, I think it's about 30 roofs, I'm guessing at the amount here, and I believe I even cut some of the ones out ever so slightly, but I don't think you'll actually notice where I've made the edits, just because there are so many roofs that I was playing with, and even after I'd actually finished this build, finished the recording, I went back and even fiddled with some of these roofs a little bit more, so bear that in mind if you download it. This may look slightly different now. Again, I just wasn't happy with the roofs, and I probably could have sat here messing with them for hours and still not been entirely happy. As you can see, they're just extending the roofs out of the back there, covering the walls. So as you can see, windows here, but aside from that, due to the layout of the rooms and windows, there are not many windows on this build at all. There's a lot on this floor, there's the floor at the front, and pretty much that's it. So again, if you want to add more in, you easily could. So here I am just playing with that apex and just going to put the coat of arms at the top there, and just taking those columns just to finish off this back area nicely and add a bit of support to the roofs. Again, subtle touch, but actually works really well. Just adjusting those apexes, slightly curving them a little bit, and the next step really is to start working this entrance area. So With the entrance area, I wanted to have a nice pathway to walk through. You walk through the main gatehouse. Once you're through the main gatehouse, you end up in this sort of little garden area, just a nice entrance area. So I've put the subtle little floor lights there, a couple of fountains either side, and we'll decorate it with a few plants and stuff as well. And again, just to end up with a nice sort of almost like an entrance walkway into the main keep itself. Speaking of the main keep itself, it's time to actually move into the actual interior of this build. So as you can see here, I'm just literally starting off by laying out some of the key areas. So nice red carpet as you walk in, subtle lighter carpet on the outside, and then I've put the archways. The two edge archways, as you'll see now, are actually a slightly different colour from the rest of them. Subtle change, but really helps get a bit of definition between those archways. They separate and basically open out this room really nicely, but still act like a supporting wall, which is a really important thing, because I didn't want this build, as though I want this build to be as open as possible, I still wanted some defined rooms and separation. So subtle but really important touch to keep this rooms separate. As you saw there, just a nice little arty area you see placed down there. You saw a couple of fish tanks, a couple of easels around a creative sort of zone. In this particular corner here of this turret, one of the few ones I actually use, this one is kind of a sort of a walk-in closet or walk-in wardrobe, depending on where you're based. So lots of dresses, lots of clothes, lots of jackets there, dresser, some shoes on the floor there, and even a nice big mirror on the wall. I will say this about the doors: a lot of the doors I use are very small looking, and that's because unfortunately in The Sims there aren't that many single doors that are really tall. Most of them are like two blocks wide, which is no good in a build like this. So unfortunately some of the doors do look a little bit out of place, but I've tried to minimize that as best I can. Now it's time to move into the second area. So this is kind of a bit more of a relaxation area. This is kind of, there's a bar here, there's a place to sit, nice piano, music. That's kind of meant to be a dance floor area that's subtly lit there. But again, you could use it however you want. As we move around the edge, I've put in some of the curtains to act as some subtle lighting, and the amazing chandeliers there as well. On this particular side, we've got a couple of bits of artwork. We've got a nice tropical beach and the nice snowy mountains. Just above, a nice set of chairs, a sofa, and also the chest with the TV on it as well. Decorative plant and doorway into what will become a bathroom. A couple of bits of artwork on the wall, again just moving around with those chandeliers now to complete the whole build. A couple of bits of plant work in there, and again putting up one of the decorative light curtains. This particular area now is where we move into the bar, so a couple of liquor cabinets on the wall, coat of arms, the bar itself, and a few bar stools. Again, trying to match kind of a blue/green sort of turquoise colour, I guess, for most of this, but I wanted to get a nice prominent set of red roses on the countertop. As we move into the final area, again another seating area. This is more of somewhere where you come to just chat. Just a nice sort of family area maybe, or even sort of an after dinner area. So a seating there with a nice plant in the centre as well. As we move around then, time to move on to the little bathroom I mentioned earlier. So subtle little floor, only the little small one because of the size of the room. Single light hanging there, toilet, a sink will go in here, obviously a plant as well. And just to try and make this place sort of a nice bathroom, so sink, and then obviously a mirror as well. So no shower in that particular one, just a regular bathroom. As we move into the next parts of the build, so I'm going to start putting in some doors. This is going to be kind of a sort of a mix of things now. So we're going to start off with this particular area here. Now this build does come with servants' quarters. So in this particular area we've got a nice single bed, chest of drawers, bookshelf, there's a little table there and a mirror as well, and there are 4 in this sort of kitchen servant-y area, so we've got 1 in each of the towers. So just replicating it, each one is virtually identical. The only thing that changes is that top one, the first one, is the only one with the mirror, the rest are all lacking a mirror. Again, that was purely for the fact that, to be honest, I forgot to, so when it comes to actually downloading this, bear that in mind that the mirrors will have been added. This area here, this massive expanse of space, will actually be a kitchen. For those of you familiar with the stories to do with Cinderella and everything like that, even after marrying the prince, she did actually still do all the cooking and cleaning. She did want a massive kitchen. So I basically decided to put said massive kitchen in. So I did a little bit of research on this. Don't quote me on all of this, bearing in mind. I just did a bit of research in looking up the actual stories. So as we move into the centre island around the stairs then, so the stairs would be used by the servants. We've got a few microwaves, a few food processors, a few coffee machines, a few ovens there as well, and some extractor fans above them, a couple of worktops so you can put some stuff down, and a massive baking machine there as well. Nice big rug, fire extinguisher obviously for a bit of safety, some spice racks on the wall, a couple of decorative items, a fire alarm obviously, and just a space for a sort of a grill, along with some warning signs to make sure that anyone using this is following proper health and safety. Some cutlery, some pots and pans on the wall there, and in this particular half we've even got space for a little bar so the servants can come and relax or even pour drinks as required. Decorative items on the wall, couple of nice plates, and that completes the kitchen really nicely. And now we move on to the servants' quarters. So this is the actual bathrooms for the servants. So I've split it into two nice big areas, but there's actually very little in them, only purely for the fact that obviously Sims get a bit self-conscious. So although we've got a nice big bathroom, we can only ever have one Sim in each room at a time. So each room has a bath, has a sink, has a toilet, obviously towels on the wall, toilet roll, decorative items, and mirror obviously in each of the ones. They're both virtually identical mirror images of one another. And then as we move in, then we're moving to the to the middle floor now. So I took a copy of the stairs to make sure they're the same. So these particular stairs here will lead up to the top floor. We're going to start off by putting that nice half wall in there to get a bit of separation there, and a couple of archways which will lead into the main dining room. We've got some lights to obviously try and light up the area. So this kind of has space for a little bit of creativity and a little bit of a zen area. So we've got we're going to corner off where the zen stuff will actually be. So nice red carpets leading through there to the main dining room. A couple of decorative items on the wall, light blue carpets for the zen area, and sort of a creamy beige colour for the rest. So naturally, for any kind of yoga zen area, we've got a nice block there, a yoga mat, we've got a massage table, we've got a relaxation chair, everything else you need. A couple of nice items on the wall, and then as we move around here, just putting in the windows I mentioned earlier for the front of the build. Coat of arms on the wall there. We saw there was a nice bookcase and a a bookcase and a nice sofa to sit beside it, so again Sims can come and relax either before or after the meal in that nice area. And naturally there's a toilet on this floor as well in case anyone were to require it. As we move to the outside, these areas themselves aren't really used that massively. Again, if you wanted to put more stuff on them, put some more doors in, you are more than welcome to do so. But again, trying to keep it subtle and usable. So a couple of nice seating areas outside, but that's about it. As we move into the main dining room itself, so this is a massive dining hall really. So as you can see, nice big collection banks of tables. We've got the couple of white chairs obviously for the prince, princess, king and queen, whoever may be staying. And then the lovely red chairs all the rest of the way around, all surrounding that lovely big rug and the suit of armour as well. Couple of decorative plants on each of the tables there, suits of armour, standing guard all around there, and obviously naturally, like anything, we need a bit of light and some dinner music. So a nice big grand piano there on its rug, ready to be played, and some artwork on the wall as well. Just like a nice couple of scenes just to finish it off. Move that piano over a little bit, and what I've done here is I've put a little door and just another set of stairs. This is a set of stairs we saw in the kitchen, so naturally anyone coming up from downstairs could come up here easily from the kitchen to bring all the food up and make it very practical. Just going around now, just finishing the last parts off the towers. I probably should have done this earlier. I'm just putting in a floor and wallpaper in each of the towers, along with a little light as well. Most of the towers are not accessible, but again, it's just nice at night where these all light up and have a subtle glow to them. Now it's time to move on to the final floor itself. So as we move to the top floor, this is where the major bedrooms are in this build. So we've got, as you come up there to this area here, we're just putting in some doors and stuff leading into what will be the nursery and also the teens bedroom as we move into the major master bedroom and the ensuite bathroom as well. And naturally we've got a grand piano in here, chessboard, easel, the hedge creation. We've got a couple of guitars again, nice place to come and sit and do a little bit of music. It's sort of like a bit like a music room, I guess is what you could call that. Now we move on to the first of the rooms up here. So this particular room is kind of a nursery area, so a nursery come baby room, I guess. So what we're going to start off with is the chest of drawers, a bassinet and another cabinet beside it. Some nice stickers or stencils on the wall there, and naturally we're going to want a rug, a nice big castle to play with, and also what would be complete without a children's playbook, mobile on the wall, and obviously a gigantic Drago. EA, still haven't got my Drago, still waiting. Maybe I might get one for Christmas. Moving swiftly on into the ensuite joined bathroom. So doors accessible for this from both bedrooms, so from the nursery and also from the girls' bedroom I will put here. We've got a shower, sink, toilet in there, mirror on the wall. One of my favourite mirrors being used there, the ones with all the breaks through it. Love that mirror. And now it's time to move on to the second of the bedroom. So nice pink in this one. Subtle hanging lights here. We've got a nice pink chest of drawers there with a mirror above it. Some artwork on the walls naturally, and some plants to go as well. Little TV wall mounted at the foot of the bed. So again, this is that technology creeping through in here now. Again, just trying to make sure that this is very livable. So nice big double bed, chest of drawers either side, some artwork on the wall naturally, and a couple of desk lamps. Set of speakers in here, and naturally you're going to want a desk with your computer. So a nice leather chair there with the computer, and some artwork on the wall, along with a bookcase as well, so you can do some studying. As we move through then, a door going in this nice corner area leading into the master bedroom. As you can see here, space very limited here, so I had to opt for the small doors there, unfortunately. But again, still nice. So this is the ensuite bathroom. So toilet, obviously, shower in here as well. We've got space for those nice bamboo reeds at the back there, and a nice corner bath as well. Sink, mirror, and that completes the bathroom. And as we move into the main master bedroom, again a lovely massive room, so much space to do whatever you want with, so you could easily add more to this. So set of two-seater sofas either side of the nice white wood desk there, white leather sofa, white leather chair even, on top of that white rug, artwork on the wall. We've got a bookcase, a chest of drawers and some cabinets, and obviously some desk lights as well. In this little alcove, I opted to put a running machine in here with some nice mirrors all around there. And then as we move into the main actual bed area, so this is nice big rug, nice white bed, and then using the fitted wardrobe technique I have used in the past, put a couple of cabinets down and basically branched them the whole way over the top of the bed itself. Just finished that area off with a couple of plants either side on the cabinets, some lights, and obviously a nice big panoramic frame over the top. Finish off the room with a couple of the wooden hearts on the walls there, just finishing up with a mirror, naturally a bit more artwork, and it's time to move into the glamour shots themselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of talking there, but I hope you have enjoyed this video. This has been the Disney Castle. If you have liked this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the video down below. It means so much to me if you do. This build took me about 5 hours to build, 4 hours to record, and God knows how many hours to edit, so it means so much to me if you share this video with your friends. If you're wondering what to watch now, however, there should be a little eye in the top corner which will link you to one of the playlists on my channel, and obviously don't forget to keep up to date with me by hitting the subscribe button down below, and also follow me on Twitter. Naturally, this build will be available on the Mysterious Mr. Ryan gallery page, and you can download it shortly. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mysterious Mr. Ryan. This has been the Disney Castle. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. I'll see you later, and take care.